All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the River Dispute Classic. Today we're going to be playing on Glade. We're going to go through our introductions real quick. For the West team, the victors of the first game, currently 1-0 in the series. We have Michael Pick here in the orange playing as the Bohemians. We have Merce in the yellow playing as the Pocket for the West team this game. He's playing as the Japanese, and we have Noah here on the right side playing as the Franks here in the red. Noah Don, rather. Noah Don. We have Name Satchel for the East team here on the right side, playing as the Japanese. Icarius playing as the Pocket for the East. Here in the green, playing as the Maya. And then Goob playing across from Michael Pig here in the blue, playing as the Britons. We're going to speed up a little bit through the early game. So can I do Gaia? How about we do that? Yeah. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Oh, you can see what the birds can see too. Interesting. I wonder why that's actually part of the game. Anyway, point is that we have Glade for this game. That was ridiculous. I'm not going to do that. We have Glade this game. So game one was on Lombardia. Very open map as two scouts come in for the West team, getting into Goob's base. Merce is going to lose his scout to the town center, trying to steal some sheep. Going to be unsuccessful there. But the West team taking the first victory on Lombardia in a big, long game, a slugfest, back and forth. Honestly, really well played from both teams, and I think Noah Don really in the end becoming the X factor, and playing as the Teutons last game was able to show up with the Elite Teutonic Knights, which were just the icing on the cake for the West team to be able to break the composition that the East team had going in that game. And so the West team taking game one in this best of three. And the River Dispute continues here on Glade in game two. So we have Bohemians. They've got really good gunpowder. They get access to chemistry in the Castle Age. So they're able to actually get the hand cannoneers out very early. If wanted, if they want to. So few players from the east milling out here in the middle of the map, or at least one. Noah Don having some units out here, not milling, but a big part of this map on Glade is map control, as we see Goob hits Feudal Age and has the Blacksmith of the Market and 500 food. And he sells gold. So, yeah. Okay, so we're going to be looking at a pretty fast castle here for Goob. And then archery range, as if Michael Pick already knows what Goob is trying to go for here. He puts an archery range down. So he will be able to combat with that pretty easily. As he does know, he knew that the map was open for Goob before, but he has not seen these units now. So he may be thinking that the map is open over there. Noah Don milling out forward, taking the hunt, as well as Michael Pick. First, getting his blacksmith and his market up. And the East team, having Goob in the blue, about a minute away from Castle Age. We'll go ahead and slow the game down now. Noah Don gonna go ahead and finish up his walls as the scouts fight here for Michael Pick and Goob. Goob losing several hits, 3 or 4 hits for free that Michael Pick was able to get on his scout, and now has got to run with it. It's 1 hit away from going down, and it does go down. So no scout for Goob. He's not going to have that intel, but he will hit the Castle Age, and already 14 on stone. He's going to be going straight to a castle. Icarius throwing his barracks rather, and first here on stone. a blacksmith with the archery range for Michael Pick. So he will have what he needs to be able to click up to the castle age when the time comes. And he does have the food for it, so floating quite a bit of food there for Michael Pick. Nodon throwing down his market and blacksmith. Okay, so everybody pretty much gearing towards castle age as a castle comes up defensively for Goob here in his base. So he's going to be able to make the longbowmen. They're an extremely strong unit. They are, especially en masse, they have the longest range of any archer unit in the game. Up to 11, up to 12 range actually, with the yeoman upgrade that the Britons get. Michael Pick with the strategic forward market. I'm just kidding. He throws it down so we can click up to the castle age sooner, no doubt. So all 3 players in the west team on their way up to the castle age. Icarius going to be the second for the east to get up, leaving Name Satchel soon to click up here. A little heavy on gold for Name Satchel, looks like. But so far, the Vil count for all teams is pretty even. And honestly, the west team doing a really good job of getting map control here. So a mining camp coming out for the back gold for Michael Pick. So he's going to go ahead and get control over this, get access to this gold here in the little pocket between the two. Whatever these are called, the two TC holes, the two TC pockets. So there's a lot of resources out in the middle of the map, but in between each player's area, there's also resources in between there. So you'll find gold, stone, berries in this case, the same for that here, and then a relic in each one as well. So you're gonna see hunt, berries, gold, stone, and plenty of extra resources very much needed for the late game. So Glade, as we said already, Glade is huge for map control. This map really requires you to be able to expand, and so taking control of the map, taking control of these resources gives you access to very strong unit production late into the game, which, as we all know, in these big team games is extremely important. If you're able to make your gold units later in the game and keep control of gold for longer, it gives you a distinct advantage over your opponents. As Castle Age will come in for Name Satchel, making him the 6th and final person to be in Castle Age, and Goob actually going for a 2nd and 3rd TC here in the Castle Age, as well as the castle. Skirmisher's already out for Michael Pick. And Merce going for a 2nd TC forward. Again, with the castle on the hill and the TC out here, he's going to be getting a little bit more map control there. A monastery for Michael Pick is going to be built here pretty soon. And eco upgrades coming in for Merce en masse, as well as Caravan. So Merce is a player who likes to trade. This is extremely important. It's oftentimes a crucial part in his team having an upper hand in these big team games, is if you can get your trade going between your teammates' markets early in the game and establish that and get the gold flowing early, it's going to allow you to really take advantage of that late when the actual gold tiles on the map are dry, or if you lose access to them. It lets you still continue to build those gold units. So the market, the trading between these teams is going to be absolutely crucial. We're going to see town centers pop up all around the map. 2nd TC for just about every player but Michael Pick here so far. Goob actually going for a 4th TC now. So very, very, very greedy play here for Goob. Honestly, he's going extremely economy centered. Now, Goob's not going to have the food upkeep to be able to keep up with 4 TCs yet. He's going to need several more farms to be able to keep up with that. But it will help his team get a little bit of a Vil lead. Noadon first for the west to go for a 3rd TC as the castle starts to come up here for Michael Pick. He's going to send 3 Vils forward to throw this castle down. And again, as we were saying on map control, it's going to be really important here. Noadon actually already has knights out. So these guys, the knights for the Franks, have more HP starting in the feudal age. So these have more HP than your regular knight. And then in the Castle Age, they get even more. But getting this map control out, I mean, Name Satchel getting some units out, but Nohadon very prepared with the Knights. He's going to be able to establish some control out here. And as we said, that double stable production for Nohadon is going to allow him to kind of maintain control of this area. Merce castling out here, town center. The West team actually doing a much better job so far of taking control of the map. And getting control of these resources, kind of putting their foothold here. And Michael Pick putting a forward castle down. It's not necessarily going to pressure Goob immediately, but what it will do is stop Goob from being able to get out of his base. And this 4TC situation with only so much stone and only so much gold left in his base is gonna make him sweat very quickly if he can't retaliate here and push out of his base. He might need some help from his teammates to be able to do that. Eco upgrades coming in across the board. Generally speaking, the eco upgrade tree for the West team just looking better than the East team as a siege workshop comes out for Goob. Now he's going to be thinking about how to retaliate here. He's no doubt going to know that the Hussite wagon can come out of this Bohemian castle. The Hussite wagon, obviously, I mean, it's a box with cannons, so it's got very high pierce armor. Goob actually able to just sit outside of the range of these skirmishers to fire back at them, and even though they are anti-archer units, they're not going to be able to do a whole lot. Actually, okay, so the Palisade Gate is almost down for Name Satchel. He has pikemen out, but these knights could break that down pretty easily and get through. But Merce actually is going to put a tower down. The Japanese get access to the Yasuma unique tech from the castle, as Michael Pick also throws his own woods siege workshop down, and Merce is going for a third town center in his base. The Yasuma tech for the Japanese allows their towers to fire multiple projectiles, and it's going to come in. Okay, so Merce is going to go for the Yasuma towers. We're going to probably expect to see fletching come in here. You're definitely going to want to have those archer upgrades to give your towers more damage and more range. And Nohadon now moving forward. He's got 5 bills on this castle, so it's not going to go up extremely quickly. And Name Satchel, even though these Franks have more HP, the pikemen are going to hard counter. And they're going to deny the castle. They'll be able to get under the tower and break it down eventually. So the push so far has been quelled by Name Satchel. Over here in the west, Goob actually already on his way up to the Imperial Age, making use of all the villagers he made from those 4 TCs. Honestly, Michael Pick leaving him with very few other options, as there's not enough stone left in his base to dig up and make another castle with it, and the gold is going to be running out very quickly as well. So Goob is going to start to really need... Goob's going to really be under pressure here pretty soon, as a second siege workshop is going to come out from Michael Pick, and Rams on their way, as well as the Hussite wagons. And all Goob has so far are the Longbowmen. They have Bracer, and he has a couple battering rams and a mangonel. Name Satchel is going to try to break this castle down with his pikemen, but the samurai now are going to come up from Merce's castle, and they will be able to easily cut down these pikemen from Name Satchel, who is putting his own castle in his base, a defensive castle. This is a really good play. And then Icarius coming down with the cheaper Maya archers. Crossbowmen coming in. These guys do have Bodkin arrow and their armor upgrades, so they're going to be very effective at helping these pikemen out against the samurai. The samurai is such an elite unit. I mean, it isn't actually elite yet, but it is such an elite unit that they are countered by archers. But look at this. The samurai deal so much damage. They attack so quickly. The health pool going down very quickly for the East team's forces here. Almost all the pikemen go down, and a few of the crossbowmen go down. Let's see up here, Michael Pick pushing forward with 8 rams. He's got skirmishers inside the rams as well as pikemen. But Goob has a mangonel with another one in the queue. And a trebuchet is already out. Gonna start to pressure the castle down for Michael Pick. Okay, so as well as another trebuchet coming out as well. Goob putting a house down here to stop the rams from getting over to this side. The rams are going to be able to get up on the castle. The villagers come out to fight. We got to keep track of everything happening here. So now a Nohadon castle, the red Frank castle is going to drop here in the middle of the map towards Name Satchel's base. And guard tower now going to come in for Merce. So he's really leaning into these tower technologies. Merce also going to put his own castle down here, going to cover this stone and gold, and really going to shut Name Satchel inside his base. So a lot of pressure here for the West team. Goob coming forward. He has his mangonels. They're going to drop down the rams, and now he has his own rams. He's going to be able to attack this castle with his trebuchet, but the trebuchet is pathed out here, and oh no, all villagers move. It's like Goob right-clicked all of his villagers there. That is, or double-clicked his villagers. That is super unfortunate. The longbowmen, even though they are not an anti-siege unit, when they're in mass, they do deal enough. These are only battering rams, so they don't have the extra pierce armor. And now Name Satchel's own samurai are going to come out. It's samurai versus knight under castle fire and Yasuma guard tower fire. This is brutal for these samurai. They've got nowhere to go. They've got to engage. And the knights just take so much damage. They take so many hits. The armor is in. The first armor is in for these knights. So they're going to be able to withstand a lot of hits. And the samurai are just going to get absolutely cleaned up. Only getting a few kills there between villagers and units. On the left side, for Goob goes down. Trebuchet continues to pressure down this castle, but now 3 more trebuchets in queue for Goob. As the Hussite wagons do go down eventually to the longbowmen, the trebuchet low health here for Goob. As we take another look back over here, samurai are pushing in to Name Satchel's base. Merce putting another guard tower down. These Yasuma towers are absolutely brutal. The knights are going to try to leak in, but 2 castles now protecting for Name Satchel. Looking up here at the text, Goob obviously being in the Imperial Age, he has bracers, so these longbowmen have immense range, already 10 range. Lacking the elite upgrade and the yeoman upgrade as well from the castles. So they're going to be able to engage from so far away. The castle itself only has 9. So the longbowmen actually outrange the castle. Obviously attacking the castle with Goob's longbowmen are not going to be the move, but the trebuchets can do the job there. There's 4 on the ground, a 5th coming out. And now Michael Pick, his castle will go down. He's going to put another one over here to pressure the wood line, but it's not going to be much in range of anything. Merce over here putting a 5th TC down, taking control of that side of the map, and now siege workshops galore. 4 siege workshops for Merce are coming out, as well as the samurai being massed up. And now Nohadon, he wants another castle. He's putting this castle down. He said, I didn't get it up earlier, but I'm getting it up this time. The towers are here to protect. The castle fire can help. But Merce still lacking fletching, so the castle and the towers are lacking range and damage. This is a lot of units. This is a lot of units. Crossbowmen, pikemen, samurai versus knights and samurai from the West team are going to engage. This multicolored health bar for both units, swarms, is dropping rapidly, evenly. And it looks like the East team's fight here is going to go their way, but the towers are going to be able to clean up what's left. And now the castle's gone down. Both castles have gone down for Michael Pick. And the trebuchets and longbowmen are able to push out with scout production as well. With Cavalier on the way, Goob doing his best to fight off Michael Pick's pressure here. Michael Pick throwing another town center down, a third town center. And Nohadon's castle, even though being built by only 2 villagers, it's probably going to go up here. There's not much to stop it. And it's mass ram production for Merce. As the third town center is going to go up for Michael Pick. Goob going for his 5th and 6th out here. Going to expand with town centers out to the middle. So Icarius also coming out with plenty of villagers to grab a castle on the hill. It's going to give the castle the hill advantage. And the units from Name Satchel are going to come in actually to try to deny this castle. And oh my gosh, another denied castle for the red player. Nohadon not quite able to get it up. I didn't mean to say that, but Nohadon not quite able to get the castle up. And the unit's going to push in from Merce. They're going to push the East team's units back and allow Nohadon to finish this castle. Okay, so 3 castles now in the face of Name Satchel under heavy pressure. And the Rams are coming forward to hit the trebuchets. It's not going to be unsuccessful, but not going to bring any down. As Cavalier now come out from Goob. Moriasima towers are going to land here for Merce. And the scouts are going to come in to try to help out over here, but Goob, unaware of the castles and towers, these guys are just going to get out. I mean, they just get absolutely melted. Good grief. The scouts go down before the samurai could even begin to swing at them. And now, East team trying to get a little bit of a handhold now, or a grip. What am I trying to say? Trying to get a hold of the middle of the map here. And 4 trebs coming out for Goob, but they're alone. Cavalier are going to come forward. Goob sees this. And now Nohadon coming for another castle for Nohadon. These cheaper Frank castles allow him to absolutely be trigger happy with these castles, but not quite enough to get that castle up yet. The samurai are going to come in, scorpions as well, and the trebuchets are going to be under serious pressure here. The longbowmen need to engage, the cavalier need to engage. One trebuchet goes down. The other 3 stay alive for the time being. Imp hitting soon for Merce. Cavalier and Iron Casting coming in for Nohadon. He's able to get to Paladin. The Frank Paladin is one of the strongest Paladins in the game. Michael Pick skirmishers are able to counter down this forward stone for Goob. Momentarily pushing him off the stone, but he does have access to stone back here. As a Jaguar tries to kill a villager from Goob, but is unsuccessful. Stables coming out from Goob on the left side. More units trying to come in and snipe the trebs. Nohadon able to get another one, but there's still 2 up. So 1 castle goes down. Merce's castle goes down, as well as the siege workshops. And now the trebs are going to have free range of the 2 castles here for Nohadon. Elite Samurai hits for Name Satchel, who's lacking most of the blacksmith upgrades for that unit. Elite Samurai is strong, but you need those blacksmith upgrades for them to be very effective. Again, moving units through this castle and tower fire. Merce does have ballistics, and so the pikemen from Name Satchel getting absolutely brutalized. And again, Goob not paying attention to these trebs. The Frank Paladins are going to come in, so the Cavalier are going to come in and snipe both. However, one of the castles does go down for Nohadon, and now it's Cavalier of Goob's on the left side. Pressuring the stone that Merce tries to take back. Thumbring, Elite Skirm coming in for Merce. And the Cavalier versus Cavalier. One of them has upgrades and 20% more HP, and dragging Goob's Cavalier under the castle fire. This is really well played here from Nohadon, getting some easy extra damage, just routing them around. Mass skirms here for Michael Pick. Nohadon still wants a castle in the middle of the map. Yeoman coming in now for Goob, as well as Keep for Merce. And so these towers are going to be upgraded. They're going to be absolutely devastating once they get upgraded. But Merce still lacking the archer upgrades from the blacksmith. As Halb comes in for 2 players from the West team. So Mass, Skirm, and Michael Pick throwing a flag up in Name Satchel's base. It's a lot of Trebs. It's a lot of elite samurai. I say a lot. It's like 8, 12. The rest of the tech trees being finished up here. Goob lacking ballistic, so the longbowmen firing from so far away are going to be very inaccurate on moving targets. As Icarius clicks up to the Imperial Age. Elite Samurai, how do they fare against these Frank Cavalier with all their upgrades? They're absolutely cutting through. They just have not enough health, but Halb is now out for Name Satchel, and this Samurai Halb combination with the Trebs behind is such a strong push. Elite Longbowman coming in for Goob, as well as Chemistry and Plate Mail for Merce, so being very thorough with these tech trees here. Chemistry as well. I may have already just said that. Now it's going to be Rams for Michael Pick again. But the Cavalier will be there to be able to help. Ring Archer armor coming in for Goob, as these are now elite longbowmen. They have the Yeoman upgrade. They're able to fire from 12 tiles away, and the Cavalier can just go in and cut down the skirms. The Rams do get in and will break down the trebuchets for Goob. And the skirmishers getting in range. They're going to get a lot of damage on these Yeomen. Halberdier going to come in for Merce rather, and start to cut these Cavalier down. Still a castle in the middle that Nohadon has a foundation for. Cavalier are going to come out and raid. And now Merce's Samurai are going to come in. They're going to bring yet another Treb down for Goob. Just not paying good enough attention there. And villagers coming forward. Not sure what they're planning on doing, but the keeps from Merce that now has fletching are just going to mow them down very easily. Halberdier raids, as well as Michael Pick's own Cavalier. And the map is starting to get quite full. You can't help but look up here. Almost 100 villager difference for the East team over the West team. And their economy is starting to really ramp up. But the military value, quite a bit more for the West at the moment. And the Halbs are going to come up. It's 35 villas putting down a castle. But this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt Goob quite a bit of Halbs. As the trade does start up. Icarius now in the Imperial Age. He's going to pick up Wheelbarrow. He's going to pick up Chemistry and Arbalester. So the Maya Archers, very cheap at this point in the game, are going to start to swarm out. He goes for another forward castle. He can control the gold here. Rams will begin to ram down the stables for Goob, as the Halberdier are there, and Goob is nothing. He needs Cavalier to break the Rams, but the Halberdier are there to protect. And so this play from the West team is going to be very, very, very effective. As Imperial Age comes in for Michael Picks, and we are now officially post-imp across the board. 19 barracks for Merce. He wants to be able to make an army when he wants it. And he'll be able to. Battering Rams, just not taking that much of a hit from the Longbowman. Makes complete sense. And it's now down to Light Cav for Goob. He needs an answer for this, but he can't get to it with the Halbs behind, and it's now Mass Monks from Michael Pick. And monks, Haub, and rams are gonna push into his base, and Goob just does not have an answer. As here in this on the right side, the elite samurai coming in for Name Satchel. They've got some more upgrades, but they're still lacking Imperial Age upgrades, the blacksmith upgrades. It's really gonna hurt Name Satchel to be lacking those at this stage in the game. As he throws down an extra few barracks. 2 trebs coming up. And on this side of this side of the map, the light cavalry villagers is all Goob has to be able to protect this. And now the halberdier are gonna come in. They're gonna want to help, and they will hurt badly if they can get up to the longbowman. But the longbowman is all Goob has to be able to push this back. And now skirmishers here. This could get really bad for Goob. But the last ram goes down, so for the moment, nothing here. 13 cavalier for Goob sitting back here. It could be attacking the rams, doing nothing. Could be flanking the skirmishers, but doing nothing. Another defensive castle, a panic castle coming up for Goob. He's garrisoned the town center. It's going to be able to do a lot of damage against these halberdier, and now the castle's up. The halberdier will be fended off for the time being, but the skirmishers are now in, and Goob is just lacking everything. Kataparuto and Name Satchel's own Yasuma towers potentially to come in, and he has called for help. The East team comes flowing across the map. Mass Maya Arbalest. The flags on the samurai waving. The reinforcement signal. It's rams again back in Goob's base. 6 rams, 6 rams. The Arbalest are going to come in. Goob deletes the houses so that the units can get through. Name Satchel's samurai will be able to get through. They're not going to go that way, but they're going to get through. There we go. They're going to go this way. And they're going to start to shred the archers for Michael Pick. The rams will go down to the villagers. The castle, the other defensive castle for Goob there eventually went down. He has no defense in his base other than the town centers and the army here. But now it's Icarius coming on the right side. He's got Arbalest. He's got Trebs. He's got Rams. He's got Yasuma Towers about to be hitting his face. It's going to hurt bad. Oh, he's going to lose quite a few units from that. Just this one tower has 16 kills. But now Trebs from Name Satchel are going to work on the middle castles and the units flowing right through the Yasuma Towers for Merce. This is just excellent map control from the West team. As the villager count starts to get a little bit more even. The pop space. Almost 200 different in total units on the field for the East team. It's just the army is so much bigger right now. 100 more military on the field for the East team as Goob gets another defensive castle up. He's grabbing architecture. Is going to give these buildings more health. Is he missing? I think he's missing. What is it called? Hoardings. Yeah, Goob missing hoardings would be very useful here. Keep the castles alive a little bit longer. We're gonna have to zoom out a little bit more. The trebuchet is really starting to pressure. And now Arbalest. Plus samurai, plus rams, plus the trebuchets. Just a brutal combination on this right side of the map from the green and light blue players. As Goob just trying to continue to hold his own, and look at this. Longbowman volleying from a mile away. Able to fire from so far away on these units. The skirmishers get engaged from so far away, they're not able to get in. And they lose numbers before they're able to even fire. And now under the castle fire, Goob just not playing that risky. Staying behind the castle fire and using the trebuchets as the push. Here on the right side, the push continues. The trebuchets, 7 now in total from Name Satchel and Icarius. The Arbalest, the Halb, Samurai now have their upgrades, and they are just sweeping through any halberdier they see. And the trebuchets are going to start to just absolutely crush everything they see. And the army from this side of the map is just so massive. And this is not looking like it's going to be able to be stopped from the West team. Merce massing up Samurai. Merce does have all of his blacksmith upgrades for these units. So they're going to be a little more effective. And they also have gunpowder to back them up. That could be the answer there on the right side. But Merce's and Noadon's teammate Michael Pick seeing his own problems now, as the Trebuchet mass and the Elite Longbowman mass for Goob just continuing to push down the field, push down the map. This is really well played from Merce, I think, just letting some of the buildings drop. They're not super crucial. Prioritizing massing up your army. He's got Elite Skirm coming out. He's got Hand Cannoneer coming out. The Halb, the Elite Samurai. This is a deadly army, but now Noadon's main economy, his main farming, all of his farming, 32, almost all of his farms, almost all of his farming economy is now going to be under pressure here. The Halb, the Samurai get in, the Arbalests are going to creep through, the Trebs. Oh no, the villagers are going to start to just drop like flies now. This is such a hard position to push with 5 of these Japanese keeps. As Merce grabs Bodkin Arrow. We just saw that range increase for those buildings. And now scouts are going to be able to start to come out from Merce to help out with the skirms. Treb's just going to continue to hit these buildings for yellow and red. Speaking of red, his base is gone. That's another town center gone. The trebuchets will be able to clean up everything else here in Red's base, and now the Arbalest actually getting countered down. It's really well played here from Merce, moving in with his units. As all the units from Name Satchel and Icarius were in Noadon's base in this little choke point, able to counter them down and do a pincher move to flank these units. And now villagers coming up to try to take down the trebuchets. I'm not seeing this push lasting a whole lot longer, but it did its job. Michael Pick actually getting a conversion on this trebuchet here in the middle. So only 1 left for this push. For Goob, the Light Cav will come in. Now the Light Cav will come in, I say, but will they get the Treb? They're gonna snipe the Treb. They're gonna get absolutely eviscerated by these Japanese halberdier. And the skirmishers plus Samurai will sweep up the remaining units here for Goob. So it's just an absolute slugfest. I mean, Noadon getting hit very hard, all but out of the game. Plenty of production still though, and he's gonna, oh no, these are Name Satchel's units. Mass archery ranges. He's building 11 on that side of the map there. Michael Pick throwing a flag up in the middle of the map here. We're starting to dig deep into the trash units in the game. Only 11,000 gold left on the map, so a lot of this gold income is coming from these trade carts. And it's quite a few. Almost 50 or 60 trade carts in the map for the East team. And a 200 pop difference now across the map. Even though the army is slightly bigger for the West team. It's mass skirms for Michael Pick. And now bombard cannon. The longbowman showing back up for Goob though. His name Satchel finally gets blast furnace. But it's a lot of skirms. It is a lot of skirms. Almost 100 skirms on this side of the map. The scout cavalry, the light cav, are going to try to rush in and snipe this bombard cannon, but it's now Hufnitsa. And the Hufnitsa, I believe, have more armor, but it does get sniped by the light cav. Now look at this longbowman, able to engage from so far away, and it's Scorpion now from Goob. It's going to deal pass-through damage to these skirmishers. Here on the right side of the map, another push from the yellow and blue. Sorry, from the green and blue. It's Halb, it's Skirm, it's Arbalest, more Arbalest. Icarius just never seems to run out of enough resources to make these, as they're so cheap at this stage in the game. Maya Arbalest cost negative 30%. They're discounted by 1/3 of their cost. That is gold and wood. And the skirmishers grouped up. Didn't take quite a few hits, but gunpowder are going to be able to bring down the heavy scorpions for Goob very easily. But again, the longbowman just able to engage from such a distance. The light cav going to get in to snipe the Hufnitsa again. 1, 2, 3 on the field now for Michael Pick. Such a huge fight. The fight is everywhere at the moment. So many production buildings across the board. And now the green and blue horde on the right side of the map has their sights set on yellow. Bloodshot eyes, but instead of red blood, it's yellow blood. That didn't make a whole lot of sense. The light cav are going to come in, and now they're really starting to swarm out. And the numbers for these skirms, not going to be enough to deal with these light cav and the longbowmen. I've said this over again, but they're able to engage from so far away that if light cav are in front, they can engage from a safe distance and really deal damage. Michael Pick flagging over here. He sees what's happening. It's mass rams and skirms and every unit you can imagine from the east team's right side. Hufnitsa noticed by these archers from Icarius. They're going to be able to bring down the rams. But 1, 2, 3, 4 go down. Oh, and 2 more pathing this way. That's a lot of resources. Michael Pick has got to be kicking himself there. Losing these Hufnitsa to these little units. I mean, I guess they are little. That hurts a lot. Now TC's under fire from Merce, and here in the north, again, it's the same fight. Skirms, scouts, halberdier, longbowmen, but Goob trying to add in something else to the mix. With these heavy scorpions, he's got 3 buildings producing them. And the army is starting to mass up here for Goob. And it's just been an absolute stalemate, a slugfest in the middle with almost no ground gained on the left side of the map between Goob and Michael Pick. It's just been back and forth here in the middle of the map. But on the right side, Name Satchel and Icarius able to coordinate and make a massive push through. Noadon trying to build up back here, but he's mostly gone. And the units for the units for Icarius and Name Satchel are going to be able to come in and pressure down the tower. Sorry, pressure down the castle for Merce. This is the last remaining castle on the map for the yellow player. The samurai are going to be absolutely brutal here. Just slicing through these halberdier. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. But they're going the wrong way. Versus samurai could be coming up and sniping these trebs as these halbs are doing. 1 treb will go down. Halbs doing their job. Second one likely to go down here as it's got nowhere to go. Icarius moving forward with the forward castle. He's got continuous ram production. More trebuchets, more skirmishers. Here on the left side of the map, we're seeing again no ground gained for either player. I mean, mostly Michael Pick, honestly, just for the sake of these keeps from Merce with such insane range. 10 range, 12 attack, multiple projectiles. They're absolutely brutal buildings to deal with. The longbowmen still have more range, and the light cav are going to be able to dive in, hit the skirmishers, and it's now 6 trebs here. It looks like they do have Warwolf. This is a unique tech of the Britons. Trebuchets deal blast damage and are more accurate, so they're going to be able to snipe these small buildings such as the towers with much more ease. And Noadon tapping out. We see he's called GG. Icarius with a forward castle. I mean, this has just been insane. This has just been insane. Goob, Michael Pick, just going at it back and forth. Such a mass of buildings here in front of Michael Pick's base. Going at it back and forth for the entire game. And here on the right side, really the game has been between Name Satchel, Icarius, and Merce and Noadon, and the unit composition. Icarius showing up in the 9th hour, 11th hour, the last minute, well, not last minute I guess, but showing up with the mass of Arbalest and Trebuchets and Rams, catching Noadon and Merce off guard. And now Merce starting to panic here. He's got light cav coming out with the halber in, the samurai are in, and it's so many trebuchets. Buildings are going to go down one by one. And Goob finally able to start poking a hole in this mass of buildings. The Yasuma towers from Merce that have done so much damage for that entire game. Actually, I want to see between them 66 kills, 67, 69, 78, 80, yeah, almost 100 kills between those towers throughout the entire game. They did their job well. The Light Cav are going to try to come in. Samurai will be there to protect, but there's not much else for the Light Cav to protect here at this point. The farming has been destroyed. Merce taps out. It's Michael Pick left standing. And the green and blue gaze from the right side of the map is now going to move slowly this direction. Michael Pick sees the writing on the wall and calls it. Wow, what a game. East team taking game 2. An absolute bloodbath, a war of attrition here on Glade. I mean, this is exactly what you want to see from these games. Just massive fights back and forth. But again, Name Satchel and Icarius able to punch through with that ram combination with the archers. And put the West team on their back foot in that late stage of the game. Really well played. Really, really well played. GG's, what an amazing game. What an amazing game.